The Home Office have been EU settled status amid mass confusion caused by Priti Patel's announcement to end freedom of movement on October 31. Campaign group The Million said the Home Secretary's reckless promise, which she has since abandoned, caused EU nationals to worry they would need to apply for citizenship. They feared they would only have until the impending Brexit deadline, as opposed to December 2020. The call for clarity comes after a school wrongly told international pupils they would need settled status by Halloween to continue their studies, when they actually have until the end of next year. Mike Bone, co-founder of the group representing European citizens in the UK, said the misinformation showed the government's £4 million advertising campaign on the settled status scheme wasn't reaching the right people. A letter from the school, posted on Twitter but which has since been deleted, read, "The British government has now expressed its intent to withdraw the UK from the European Union on 31 October. After this date, all pupils must be UK passport holders or have settled status in the United Kingdom to continue to be eligible for state education." The letter advised parents how to apply for the scheme before adding, "Once your child has settled status approved, they will be able to remain in the UK after the October deadline to complete their studies, up to and including Year 13. A spokesperson from the Home Office said this guidance, issued by the school on September 4, was not issued by them and said schools do not consider the immigration status of pupils when deciding who to admit. They denied issuing unclear advice and said guidance on their website explicitly states EU nationals will have until the end of 2020 to apply for settled status. But Ms. Bone claimed the group had anecdotal evidence of other schools and employers issuing similar incorrect advice regarding the scheme's deadline. She said EU nationals are worried they will face discrimination if they don't have settled status by the end of October and suggested the government scrap the deadline for the scheme altogether. She said, "This all comes back to Priti Patel's reckless announcement to end freedom of movement, on October 31, which caused so much anxiety. People are confused and organizations are confused. The letter is a roundabout way of saying if you don't have settled status on October 31, you can't come back to school. I believe the school were trying to be helpful. They are thinking we need to tell parents they should get this as soon as possible. They were clearly misinformed and they should have checked. It's a consequence of that announcement." New guidance issued by the Home Office this week confirmed it will not end until an overhaul of the immigration system at the start of 2021. A no-deal Brexit is looking increasingly unlikely after a tumultuous week in British politics. Ms. Bone said the government needed to communicate with EU nationals who still feel insecure about their post-Brexit status. She said, "EU nationals are feeling anxious and they want to feel reassured they won't be discriminated against after Brexit. What we still don't know is what will happen to people who miss the deadline. No new scheme is ever 100% successful. The Home Office still needs to make things much clearer." A Home Office spokesperson said of the school's letter, "This guidance was not issued by the Home Office and schools do not consider the immigration status of pupils when deciding who to admit. We've been clear that EU citizens living in the UK before Brexit have until at least December 31, 2020 to apply to the EU settlement scheme. The government has spent close to £4 million publicising the scheme and issued bespoke information to schools.